Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe. We are still moving along, reviewing the Librarians, the next chapter. We are now more than halfway through.
Wow.
We are at episode 7.
It's moving
And
too quickly.
several of us can really relate to this episode. really relate.
Yep.
And I will say this, they did a good job setting the scene. And sometimes maybe it was a little calmer than it normally is. Yes. And people were going like, what are you talking about? You'd have to be at a sci-fi convention to understand what we're talking about.
Well, I was impressed that when they showed the panel or the presentation thing, the room was full.
Well, that depends on where.
Yeah, it depends what star they're, doing.
I hosted a panel once, and there was so few people. I just took a chair and we all sat in a circle.
Well, those are the small groups ones. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, San Diego.
Try doing a supernatural one sometime.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's the difference. Okay, Liz says, Linda says, hi, Liz. Welcome back. Missed you so much. Hope you're feeling better.
Thank you, Linda.
Hey, welcome back, Liz.
And I would like to especially notify everyone that we do have the 2 librarians groups that have helped us get some people coming on, into the chat room. We appreciate it. Librarians, the Arc, Outpost, and Leverage discussing the shows group. And that's the one going by right now. It's a long thing. But anyway, then we also have the Librarians, the Next Chapter fan group.
So, Michael, did you put these in the comments so people can copy paste them? That is a very long identity.
I know it's a very long identity. I'll put those in later. But see, it doesn't go everywhere. That's one of the problems. When I post them, it doesn't go everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put them in, but some of the people won't be able to get the links. But hopefully they will. But I will put them in when we're about halfway through.
Or search for them by name.
Or search. That's why I put the names up there. Yeah. It'd be nice if the group names were actually not the numbers, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Now, where do you want to start? Marsha, where do you want to start?
Well, how about the name of the episode?
Okay, you want to say that? I've kind of alluded to it.
Which is the Con, which when you first look at just the title, it can mean a lot of things.
Yes.
But so the gist of the episode, and I'm just going to take the little paragraph that I found about the description. Connor is forced to reconnect with people from his pre-library life and must defeat an old adversary who has grown powerful in his absence.
Just because he left,
And it was written by Dean Devlin, John Rogers, Tom McRae, and it was directed by Sandra Mitrovich.
Yeah. Mitrovich. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be having Sandra on after the season is over again. So.
And it begins with a bang. No, that was last episode.
The moth.
This one, it's like their clothes are gone. That's what.
Yeah, the moth got a hold of all the.
I had to actually listen to that twice because I said, "Did he say moth? A giant moth?"
He did. And he opened the box.
I want to know where they were on that last mission, considering what they came through dressed as.
That
honestly, I think I might have enjoyed that story a little more.
And I loved Vikram's costume. The colors, the tartan, his fake red hair.
I don't know as if he needed the shocker red hair, but that was pretty funny.
Well, I think it was part of the costume, so he had to put it.
Yeah.
Now, this is probably going to be a question for Alicia. Were those McGowan colors?
Ooh.
Oh, very interesting.
Good thought.
That would be
Good
interesting.
question.
I actually just thought of that.
That's a good one.
You should write that down and remember that. Really good question.
Yeah, you can ask
No,
you can ask.
Ivana.
I've gone blank again. I hate when I go blank. Ivana. You can ask Ivana.
Did you have a favorite out of the 4 costumes that we saw?
I thought Charlie's Marie Antoinette was fun, complete with wig.
I enjoyed Vikram's. I don't know why, but I did.
The only thing I didn't like about Vikram's was that fake red hair coming out from under the hat.
Oh, that's what I liked.
I was trying to figure out what Connor was. Was he a character that any of you know?
Honestly, I don't remember Connor and Liza.
I think Connor's was like the 80s rocker, half torn off stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to look on the shirt and look at the logo and see if it meant anything, but it didn't ring a bell with me at all.
Yeah, I was going to rewatch it today.
He was just a general, like you said, Liz, general 80s. I thought maybe he was a
maybe that's why I didn't
dancer or something like
that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't think about it twice.
Probably.
It's like, oh, he's just dressed normal.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is very true.
I was seeing 80s hairband or maybe a wrestler, but I was seeing more of the 80s hairband.
Wrestler. That's another question for Ivana.
All right. Here's a question for the chat room. What was Connor's costume referencing?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Let's get some discussion.
Okay, I'm grabbing I found a picture of it, so I'm going to try to see if I can show you all.
That's good, because I was just trying to think of how to pull it up, and then I'm like, oh, I can't really get into the episode without the audio leaking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So while he's doing that, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, please do something, because it's going to take me a minute.
At the end of that segment, Vikram said he had to go put on underpants.
Oh, I thought that was hysterical.
And who made the face? Was it
Probably
Liza?
Yeah.
She's like, ew, really? Okay, please do.
He was wearing a kilt.
He was being authentic.
I didn't notice if he was wearing a sporran to keep everything in place, but you know.
But I'm with you, Liz. I want to know what they were doing. Where were they?
Where were they? That honestly is a good question.
Yeah. No, I was having trouble remembering if they did that in the old show. Did the opening teaser have like some vague ending to a previous mission?
I don't remember that, but it's been a while.
It seems to be a trend here, at least.
It is a trend here.
I mean, this is the second time they've done it that I've noticed, maybe third. And It's terribly fun. This one was terribly fun. The things blowing up at the beginning of the last one was terribly fun.
And I like they referenced the Drukovac.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As they introduce the rest of the world to one of Serbia's cryptids. Any other thoughts on the opener while Michael's getting there?
Oh, I thought I had it.
Well, it's not quite the open, but when they were walking toward the convention, all the signs that were there.
Yeah.
What is that? Let's see.
I would just say 80s general. I mean, I kind of vaguely remember there was one band that had that zebra print thingy associated with them.
Was it Whitesnake?
Oh, it might have been.
Okay, chat room. Looks like a gremlin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I read.
Well, post it, Marcia. I was busy. You should have just posted it up there.
That's from Linda.
Oh my gosh. But as they were walking toward, I had to go back and try to write down as many of those signs as I could because they were all pretty weird, even for me. But so some of them I caught was who really controls the weather, which I've actually had discussions with people about more than one time.
Yes.
For
whatever reason, Congress wants us to have some rain on every Saturday up here in the Northeast.
It was ordered. It was ordered, so it's coming through.
And here in Florida, we talk about the hurricanes and how hurricanes sometimes seem to just turn on a dime and go this way or go that way. How does that?
Because that has nothing to do with jet and Gulf streams.
No.
Yeah,
and air currents and whatever's happening at the North Pole with the Coriolis winds.
Yeah.
Coriolis? Coriolis. I mispronounced that.
There have been some interesting cases recently where some rather mysterious, unrelated movements, unrelated to those things that you mentioned, currents and things like that. Oh, it just decided to. Well, look at what happened with even what was the one that hit Louisiana? The big one. Why can't I think
the
of
big
the name
one?
of it?
You mean the hurricane?
Huh?
No,
You talking about Katrina?
Katrina. Yeah.
Katrina.
Even that one, I remember listening to the whole thing. It seemed to be over with, and then all of a sudden, just something turned, and it just turned into a huge disaster. But then,
Levees broke more than it was the hurricane.
Yeah. But so that was a sign, and then it was pyramids. What's the point? Which I thought was really funny.
I missed that one.
Aliens walk among us.
Well, we know that.
No,
And one I don't get. France is not real. Can somebody explain that to me?
There's a thing about Finland not being real. That Finland was made up by Japan and Russia during the Second World War.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I did hear something about that.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
So what does that got to do with France?
They probably just changed the name to protect the innocent.
Okay. Checking that one up.
Next, they're going to be saying Wakanda's real.
Wakanda forever.
It is, isn't it?
Are they hiring?
Yeah,
really.
Apology.
Are they hiring? That's good.
Well, on that note, I'd just like to thank, we got a couple of likes in Facebook, Sharon Zimmerman and Abigail Dowidzik. I'm not too good with that one, but thank you very much for the likes. We do appreciate it.
Oh, I see one.
Did you have any more signs that you caught, Marcia?
Yes, I do. Okay. Atlantis, Unlocking the Mystery. The moon landing conspiracy.
No, that one's been around since the moon landing.
The double conspiracy?
Yeah. The Illuminati.
That's the double conspiracy.
Oh, one of my favorites was the Illuminati cocktail party.
I was actually that was my other thing that I was going to try to have Copilot do, is something with the Illuminati.
Churchill was a spaceman.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He knew Doctor Who.
Yes, he did.
And I don't understand. Dare to believe the Earth is flat. And
because we had Aaron Rodgers in here.
That was because some of those were panels that were advertising panels, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah.
And then there was the hat that Vikram put on. Ducks aren't real. I don't get that either.
I didn't get that one either, and I didn't look it up. That was kind of bizarre.
I should have looked it up, but I didn't think to do that. And I see, somebody had another sign that I didn't get in the chat.
Well, there's a restaurant named that in New Brunswick.
Named Ducks Aren't Real?
Yeah. In Sackville, New Brunswick.
I don't get that one. Ducks aren't real.
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat room ever hear about that? Oh, there's Abigail. Abigail, I'm sorry. I'm sure I butchered your name. I am very sorry.
And
what, Abigail? What are your?
How? It's so simple.
Well, fine. I'm going to have you do all of them then. But Abigail, what were your thoughts on this episode? Did you have any insights, or anything? Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about, or you want to bring up, like you knew everybody at that con, or something like that.
Oh, did you like where Lisa took her phone from? She had it up on her thigh.
Yeah.
Dressed in the costume. I thought, okay.
Tucked in her garter.
Yeah. Yes. And it was the 25th year for the conference. Wow. Did anybody take offense to them calling them, like, I thought that Lisa calling them kind of nut jobs was kind of interesting, considering her.
I may have you. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I may have your Ducks Aren't Real.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
It is supposedly a take off of a satire, Birds Aren't Real conspiracy theory, which posts that birds are actually drones operated by the United States.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, they certainly love it when we throw out peanuts to them.
Wow.
So they are peanut eating drones. Okay.
Apparently so. But
that's good to know.
Yeah, like I said, apparently it's taken after that about Birds Aren't Real, which is a satire conspiracy theory group.
So I would be inclined to believe that as long as it's isolated to the whippoorwill that just wants to do its call all night long in the woods behind my house.
Try woodpeckers first.
Oh, we get woodpeckers too. We call them dinosaurs.
Oh, annoying little, what's.
Oh, we get the big ones.
Okay.
We get pileated woodpeckers at our house. They're very cool.
But go ahead with what you were saying earlier, Marcia, before I interrupted you.
No, I'm happy to hear that because I had never heard that. I'm gonna go look at that some more. I may be sorry.
Oh, Linda says Harvey Pope was a quack.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a little punny there, Linda.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Good
And Linda also said, I thought Dixie Dean was too enthusiastic about agreeing with everyone. That's the way people are at conventions.
You need to go to, if you believe me, you'll
my
find it out.
Oh,
I
man.
agree with you, Michael. I think that some of the convention they were a little bit calmer because you know what happened.
Oh yeah. No, that's
discussions start.
Yeah, that was calm compared to some I've been at. That's all.
Well, I've only been to a couple Star Trek conventions, so I don't know about conspiracy conventions.
No, I'm just talking about any convention. I mean, Star Trek, or I guess you don't go to the same Star Trek ones I've gone to, Greg.
You should try going to some of these anime conventions we have.
Oh, the animes. They're a little nuts.
Well,
I've heard about them. I've
actually been to a couple, and that was
I bet the costumes are really awesome.
The costumes are
they
great.
are.
Speaking of costumes at the convention, I saw an interesting set of costumes, and maybe it was my imagination, but didn't I see ARC costumes?
I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go back and read
I told Marcia I was going to go back and look again. I didn't have a chance today to go back and look.
Yeah, I'm like, I was gonna rewatch it, and then I'm like, no, let me get my camera lighting better, because last time I looked really pale, and I wanted to specifically rewatch it to pick out the references and the costumes in the attendees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, immediately when we went in, when we went in, now I'm one of them.
Well, you are, Marcia. We know that.
When
you were in the costume in the back row, right behind Vikram.
I know you were.
Yes,
I was there.
You were there. I know you were.
And there they were. And I thought, oh wow, that's pretty funny. That's pretty. So please, you'll go back and make sure that I'm not losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have dozed off for a minute and fantasized about the ARC.
And
hey, knowing Dean, it would not surprise me one bit if he didn't put that in there.
Well, and I wouldn't either. I mean, we can find out. We can find out next week. So.
Mm-hmm. And then
make sure if they have. Redacted, those costumes from the episode, now. So,
and that wild
just because
Wookiee,
we're questioning it,
that wild Wookiee thing.
I think that was supposed to be a Bigfoot.
That was Bigfoot.
It was scary a little bit.
It was orange.
You're just eating way too many sweet potatoes and carrots.
Right?
Probably, yes.
Well, what did you think of Pedro's reaction to seeing Connor?
Fair.
I loved his reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was honest. I mean, he did just disappear. Why couldn't he say, "Oh, I went to Timbuktu," and
Yeah.
But he didn't. He found what he was looking for, and he was so excited he didn't even think about anybody else.
I mean, he punched him in the face.
Well, he was mad.
You know what, his punch and what he said reminded me of when he said "Welcome home" and then he smacked him. Okay, what did that remind you of? Did it remind you of a line from a very popular movie done by Dean Devlin? Yes. Did you say it, Liz?
Welcome to Earth.
No, I didn't.
No, that was my. That was my peanut gallery here.
Are you paying that peanut gallery now, Marcia?
It was Welcome to Earth by Will Smith when he punched the alien in
Oh my God!
Independence Day.
Yes. Independence Day.
And Linda
That's what I
says the
kept
punch
thinking.
was a surprise.
No, I expected that.
You did?
I have
Yeah.
only seen Independence Day once. Sorry,
Oh
Dean.
my goodness.
Oh,
You have to get bumped out of the club. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I saw it in the theaters 6 times.
Oh
so
my
did
goodness.
I don't know if I saw it 6 times or not, but I saw it in the theaters. Or I think it was more like 6 or 7 times. But yeah.
Yeah. We would watch it every July 4th too. Oh, it's coming
Oh
up,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, we do too. Yeah.
We may have to. We may have to. It's been a very long time since I've seen that film.
Mm-hmm. It is a good one. I love it. It really is.
Just stay away from number 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oops.
Well, my house gets destroyed in one, so
I'm sure it's going to be streaming somewhere.
Oh, it's streaming everywhere.
Independence Day?
Yeah, it normally is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on everywhere, usually right around the 4th. So. Along with Twilight Zone.
I want to ask a question. Okay. What do you think of them using American accents when most of the actors are not American?
Well, you know why they do that, don't you?
Give it to me.
Because of the American audiences.
That's what I thought. You think it would be less acceptable if, obviously they do.
A lot of people would not look at it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I do
I don't
know
think
people.
so either, yeah.
Well, they watch. Oh no, they don't. Well,
No, a lot of them don't.
Doctor
A lot of
Who.
them don't. I have a lot of friends that can't look at British TV because they can't understand it.
Oh, okay.
Which I have a certain viewpoint on that, but I will not utter it right now.
No.
Wow.
No, I agree. And I don't agree with it. But I do have several friends. And I mean, they'll be sitting in the room with me watching, and I'm just laughing my head off. They can't understand a word. I have to put on subtitles for them to understand. It's it's the way it is.
Well, when the announcer at the convention came on and was announcing the panel, she said, "Attention, humans and others."
I know that.
I thought that was cute. And what do they call the followers of the former followers of King Khan? Was it spectral snoops, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did write that down.
And I was trying to think of what that might
Can't find my
come
notes.
from. What it meant, kind of.
Well, maybe Snoop.
Got a Scooby-Doo vibe from them calling that, but
it was probably a reference to Scooby-Doo.
Maybe Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I don't know if it was exactly a reference to Scooby-Doo, but
it could have been something very similar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it had something, maybe Ghostbusters, something tied to that fandom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You never know. But going back to the episode, now we're on all these tangents.
Well,
it's
what
an
about
easy episode to go on
creepy
tangents.
crown? That
Was creepy.
Yeah,
I was
creepy.
trying to figure out if
Ears.
things were just touching the head or if they're actually going into the head.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
I wasn't sure.
If you looked when it started to detach from Connor, it went through and in his ears.
Ooh.
If you looked at when he's standing there and it finally breaks and he's getting ready to take it off, and it goes in his ears, the little thin probes on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I thought that was well done for the creepy.
Yeah, I do too.
The effects were well done.
Yes.
Story-wise, it was really hard to follow what was going on.
I agree with you in that way. It was fun, but
It was
It was fun, but yeah, I got lost a couple of times. But
Are you kidding me? That was
didn't.
an easy one to follow.
I mean, it's not that it wasn't easy to follow. It's that in the writing, some of the stuff didn't make sense. Like maybe some scenes were cut out, or they had a tough time binding Connor, trying to convince everybody that Vikram was wearing the crown when he really was.
Well, I kind of figured that Connor had never released it. Because why would you take off an artifact and just throw it in the middle of the street? Somebody else is going to grab it. And I'm going to go straight back.
Yeah, that I had trouble with.
That's why right then and there I knew he'd never released it, never taken it off.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that, Liz. That's a good catch.
Yeah, Linda says that they look like they just melted into his head and disappeared.
Oh, the probes.
Yeah, the probes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make sense at all, Liz, when he did that. And I even my second watching, I said, why would he throw something that dangerous
away like that? Yeah, that made no sense. No.
Yeah.
And it's because he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I wanted to do and didn't, because I just remembered, is that based on a real story?
Ooh.
Oh, I have no idea.
Like, I mean, is there some sort of mythology tied to that particular trickster spirit deity thing?
Somebody should have looked that up. The person who brought it up, probably.
Yeah, I should have looked that up.
I will look that. I'm not. I piqued my interest. I'm gonna look that.
Today was meeting day, so I have an excuse.
Forgiven. But that's yeah.
And then, of course, by vanity, I had to get the lighting better in here. So.
Yeah.
Although now that I'm sitting back, I realize you can see all 200 pounds of me. So.
Do you need your own makeup people to come in and do your makeup and the whole bit before you go on air?
Well, see, if you notice the alien that's right under the redacted thing, if you look just below that, you can see the makeup kit.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Because you got the scarecrow back there, and then you got someone with the makeup kit.
That's supposed to be a tinfoil hat. I thought Copilot did a good job on that.
Well, he did good on the makeup kit too, but that's all the story.
One thing I didn't notice the first time I watched it, and I noticed the second time, is that Vikram called Mrs. Astolat to find, to tell them to find an
to get the door.
And I didn't realize that that's who he called, and I was sad that she didn't appear in the episode because I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's not in every episode. So
no. Mm-mm. And then how come Pope was doing his eyebrows?
I really need to say that.
When Connor came in to talk to him, he was working so hard on his eyebrows, and I thought
vanity.
It was a nice touch.
I haven't done. I have not trimmed these, though. They're not too bad right now.
And I have another question. Where the heck
Yeah,
were
it's
those
a thing.
supplements?
Yeah, you would expect it if he's selling all those supplements, vitamins. They'd have been like just off the table, a whole row of them to sell, or
Well,
whatever.
that would have been funny. Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been real funny.
Did I miss them? Because I didn't see any.
I didn't see him either. I was
No, they just talked about that he was, basically hawking snake oil.
I want to know what's in them.
Could be anything. Could
Or
just be
nothing.
a multivitamin. Could be a multivitamin that they put a fancy name on, like half the stuff that's out there.
Yeah, and change the coating on the capsule.
Right.
So, what drove you the craziest in this episode? Abigail, I didn't understand the question. You asked, did I answer? I did not understand it. Could you please reword it for us? Because I did not understand what you asked.
Oh, I lost track of it.
Well, yeah. But I did not, I did not understand it. So something didn't come through right. Sometimes the questions do not come through right. So, especially if you're on Facebook. So.
Or in order.
Yeah, exactly. Or not in order. That's the other problem. But what does that have to do with? I'll put it up, but I don't understand what that has to do. Oh, no, not this one. Sorry, Linda. What was cool was the sound equipment that used to mute Harvey to get the crown back.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And Abigail, I don't understand what should 4th of July be canceled have to do with the con. And I'm sorry, I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Yeah, the only context I would think of, I know there's been a big thing with animals are usually very frightened by fireworks.
Animals and vets.
So. But if it has to do with Independence Day and aliens coming down to destroy buildings,
on July 4th.
On July 4th, I think that's a corollary. I don't know if there's that. It's more coincidental than a correlation. So,
yeah,
my answer to that is no. They should not cancel the 4th of July, but people should be more responsible about fireworks, not bring their pets to big fireworks displays, or if you have people that light off fireworks in your neighborhood and you have pets, get something that makes white noise or something to offset the fireworks.
My niece uses with her puppy a cannabis supplement for pets.
Yeah.
To calm them.
Oh yeah, just to calm them down, relax them. Yes,
and like the thunder jackets that kind of gives them a hug.
That's what we do for ours. Is the thunder jacket and then a bunch of CBD.
They can get so scared.
Yeah, they do.
So you asked Michael what drove us crazy. Well, one thing that drove me crazy, and maybe you can help me understand about the feedback loop and the stuttering and how that technology.
I honestly did not understand that either. And I was going to do a little research to try to figure out what that was all about, but
I have a sense that that's real.
I have a feeling it is too, but I just don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, maybe a simpler question is, does anybody know what was on Connor's shirt? His t-shirt. It seemed like there was a gorilla. It could be King Kong.
Oh,
some wording.
Linda said something about that back. Oh golly, keep talking. I'll look for it.
Oh, the
or Linda, if you did, post it again because I have lost it.
There was a gorilla on. It seemed like he was on a building, but there was one word at the bottom, and he kept having on his jacket, just covering it a little bit, and then he would take it off, but then they would show close up, and it was driving me nuts. What was, and it could have been a foreign word maybe, or an abbreviation for something. I couldn't figure out what it was. That drove me crazy.
So delayed audio feedback is real.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was just reading that too.
Which I kind of suspected, because I mean it sounded very plausible when they presented it.
She said it said Belgrade, but was there a picture?
Yeah, it was a bottom of a picture. It said Belgrade? I don't think so. I didn't see an E on the end of it. Maybe.
Now, when was it in the episode? Do you remember?
He was wearing it the whole episode.
Oh, okay. I can.
It had the coloration of that Obama shirt, that the painting was just white and blue and red, that stark portrait. Yeah.
Do you have a picture of it?
I'm working on it. It's going to take me a minute.
So.
Oh, I see the picture, but it's not a very good one.
Let
me see if I can pull
if you can
one.
find one, that would be great.
I can only find it, but it's his jacket is covering most of it up.
Exactly. And okay, in the meantime, I have another question. Didn't they in the convention, when Pedro got up and introduced Harvey, wouldn't the people in the audience have noticed that Connor was there?
Well, no, I don't necessarily think they did, simply because he was just one person sitting off in the audience. Would you notice necessarily?
Yeah, and plus Connor told that one guy that recognized him that he just looked like him.
Yeah.
So he sucked him in. They believed him, but maybe it was because they were also under what's his name, Harvey Pope's influence.
Potentially.
I hadn't thought about that. Maybe. Okay. I did like Vikram's megaphone use. I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah, I did too.
Almost got it, but it's not a very good one.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there's any pictures from the episode, but there aren't yet.
Oh, yeah. Maybe some publicity shots or something. Because I remember in the episode where Paul Murray was in the episode, in the straitjacket, they had done some shots with him without the straitjacket, but just him holding his arms.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be some publicity shots.
That's the best I could do.
Well, that didn't help.
I said it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it is Belgrade.
Well,
are you sure?
Belgrade.
Because
No, it
that
doesn't
looks
look
like an
like an
O. It
L.
looks like O or OGR or something.
Well, could it be their spelling for Belgrade?
That it might be then. Maybe.
No, okay. That could okay.
Yeah, and what is that? It looks like a goat coming out of a can.
I don't know. If I can find another better picture at some point. That's the best I can do right
That's another question to ask the costumer.
It is.
We got lots
Are
of
you
questions
trying to
for
drive
her.
us crazy?
Oh, is that what you're going to ask her?
We can ask her. Why
I
not?
think so.
Ask her if she's trying to drive us crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine.
And I'm sure there were things that I probably didn't even recognize or realize that was in there. Little stuff.
Well, they could be commercially available things in Belgrade. I remember when I went to Venice, Italy, I had gotten a T-shirt because Ghostbusters was big that year. Dating myself. That said, Venezia Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could be something, like from Hot Topic in Belgrade.
No, that would be hilarious. That's a yeah.
So they might have had the Ducks Aren't Real hat made or quickly embroidered a few with, because they have those numerically controlled embroidery machines. You can get almost anything put on that. Oh, excuse me, a hat or T-shirt. Uh-oh.
Is it time?
I think we have to write down the time at which Greg yawns every show.
I think it's close to the same time.
Yeah. No, we're going on
47.
Let's see. So quarter of 6 to quarter of 9. Yeah.
Well, going back to the beginning costume, what was Lisa? She kind of reminded me of what's the very first video game, Zelda.
I don't know.
Because you pointed out the Marie Antoinette and Vikram. I don't know what he was supposed to be, but
well, I mean, Vikram's Scottish dress and Marie Antoinette really were captured my attention. So I mean, I obviously wasn't even looking at Liza or Bluey. Or,
I'm sure she'd
Connor.
be happy to know.
Well, also she wasn't center screen either all the time. She was off to.
She was off to the side.
The side here.
She had some kind of horns.
Like a Viking kind of, I thought.
Yes, except Vikings never had those horns on their helmets.
So that's two we need to figure out: Connor and
Liza.
And Liza.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could have been a Valkyrie. I mean, they had. So the operas used helmets with horns, but Norsemen never had helmets with horns.
So where did we get that from?
The Viking costuming from the 19th century in operas like Das Valkyr and so it's that's where they came from.
Oh. Okay.
But now you can find out.
Well, and I like that the last announcement from the conference announcer said, we're having a Q&A with Mary Shelley's ghost. No, it wasn't that.
Yes.
One of the guys said it. There's I think it was Pixie or Dixie, whatever.
I thought that was clever.
I've been watching too many cartoons.
Digsy.
Dixie. But, yeah, he said Mary Shelley's ghost. That was
that was clever.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sad in the end where everybody started losing their memory of what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that happens in the original too. So.
Well, I didn't watch it.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So now I'm sad.
But on that, when that happened, when he started to lose his memories,
Mm-hmm.
And I did see the original, it kind of made me question. There are certain people that do not work for the library anymore or are not librarians that still have their memory of the library. And that goes back to as recent as, our was the last episode with the tarot cards and the tarot card reader. She used to be a librarian. And yet she still retains memories of it, but that's not what she's doing anymore. So I don't think
she still is. She's just trapped inside that spell that she created.
True. But it's like, okay, not everybody tends to lose.
No, not everybody does. No, and they mentioned it in either this episode or the other, that because the guy because I think Connor asked, "Will I lose my memory?" And they didn't say.
Yeah.
Because probably some people do, some people don't. Because the library decides.
Exactly.
Which I think emphasizes what we were talking about last week, that the libraries accepted Connor and Liza.
Mm-hmm. At least we think so.
Yes.
Well, it was very nice to see somebody's background kind of and ties to the outside. I was wondering about that, and we had talked about that in some previous episodes. What about the people they left behind?
Yeah, like Liza's career. I mean, she was, she had some startup that she was working on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Library may make her forget about that.
Maybe.
Could be.
So maybe we'll get a Liza-focused episode sometime.
I'm wondering if we'll get one for each of them before the end of this season.
Maybe. Yeah. I was actually surprised by the Connor-focused episode because it did seem like more of an ensemble show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I am sorry.
Well, and I
put you in timeout, Greg.
I know. Well, that's what I get for getting up before 7.
Absolutely.
I would like to recognize the effort that Redacted put in his background.
I have to give Copilot credit. I just prompted Copilot, and the first image crashed, which I liked a lot, but I thought this one was cute too.
Interesting.
What is Copilot?
Copilot is Microsoft's AI that comes with Office 365. Okay. So it got added in by default during one of the recent updates on Windows 11. And I've tried it a few times. As far as conversational speech, I think it's insane how natural it is. It's like when I suggested that they turn the alien holding the marker board into Bigfoot, she's like, "Oh, this conspiracy just got fuzzier," and I'm even calling it a she now. And it was I'm like, it made me smile, and I'm like, I'm talking to a machine. No, I know. Or am I?
Maybe you're the machine.
Okay, I've got another question which I really should have researched, but I ran out of time. Does anybody know who was the voice of the Crown? I
Oh
know
my
that
God,
GW might support.
I don't think they publish it unless
it wasn't in the credits. I didn't even think about
No,
it.
I don't think it was in the
Sometimes
credits, but
Yeah, I didn't see it in the credits either.
sometimes he puts himself in his voices, especially because he did that in the Ark.
that's true. Yeah.
And I thought, could this be Dean? But it didn't sound like him. And
Yeah, I know.
It could have been an augmented voice. Might have been him.
couldn't have been a voice at all. Maybe it was AI.
Well, there's somebody credited as Professor.
That was the professor that Connor went back when he was going back.
Right. Okay. One of those mysteries. Maybe it was Dean.
That's what I wonder.
Might have been. Well, I'll have to ask him too. He's coming back at the end of the season too, so we can ask. Write down that question, somebody.
I did think it was clever though, as part of like the reality when we learned that Connor did put on the crown, that really the only thing he wanted was for Pedro to forgive him. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And not the the big career stuff that the crown expected him to want.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing. The hat that that Connor put on said Area 52.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. In other stories, SG1 was Area 52.
Mm-hmm.
Or Stargate Command was Area 52.
So that was a nod to
Stargate.
Yep. A little self-referential Easter egg there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think. There are probably other things in there that.
Well, they do the Doctor Who music a lot.
They did that again in this episode.
Yes.
The action music was laced with the hints of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
So much so, I'm hoping they got permission.
I know it's obvious to me, but
I do not know Doctor Who. So, can you give me a for instance?
It's I can't remember what they called it. Yeah, it's like there's like an action sequence phrase that they always repeated, like near the climax of the Doctor Who episodes. I think it was the Matt Smith episodes. I forget what they called it, but it's like that action music. It's not the intro music, but it's the.
No, it's what I just did.
Yeah.
And
they did that in the episode?
They did it in Ghost Train too.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
They did it a lot in Ghost Train. That was the first one I had heard. Which episode?
Well, we know Dean is a huge Doctor Who fan.
He's a huge Doctor Who fan.
Yes. And I imagine that he would have gotten permission. Because I mean that's very flattering, I would think. Especially if it was I can't remember the name of the showrunner during those years. Might even be the same composer, maybe.
Ooh.
Very possible, but.
Well, have you ever written down something and then you don't know why you wrote it down?
Oh, absolutely.
Every
I've
day.
done this, so
all
I
the
need
time.
some help.
What does it say?
Magic fingers.
Yes.
And I
don't you remember?
Why.
He went.
That's it. Magic fingers are not a thing, right? Thank you.
I'm glad I understood that.
The funny part was that they actually fell for it at first.
Yeah, they did. But another con, so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Marcia.
Yeah.
Who was it that was saying that they needed to remember who the showrunner was for Matt Smith
Greg.
Harris?
Yeah, but which Doctor Who era were you talking about, Greg? That's what I wasn't.
Because I think it was Moffat.
Me, the 11th Doctor.
That'd be Stephen Moffat.
Yeah. So.
My brain.
Oh, I couldn't find anything concrete about the similarities in the music other than we're not the only ones that noticed.
Yeah. No, we're not.
Oh, that means there's something to it.
It means that it's pretty obvious. If you're a Doctor Who fan and watching it, so.
I haven't seen Leverage yet, but I noticed that Leverage is full of Doctor Who references.
Oh yes.
They are.
So I'm figuring that since we all noticed that the supplements were nowhere to be found, that either they did that purposely to irk us, or like Greg said, there was a scene or two that got deleted or truncated somehow. Because that's the way to drive your fans cuckoo.
Yeah. Or they couldn't come up with something that wasn't sufficiently different from stuff that's actually out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. They could have done.
Or maybe maybe it was a reference to another famous blogger that sold out to do supplement hawking.
That's possible.
Now that I like that one. Now we have to figure out who that was.
I'm trying to think. But I mean, I mean, when I used to be up late doing my homework, I'd have the TV on, and all of those ads used to be on after like midnight.
Oh yes.
So I mean, I haven't watched broadcast television in ages, especially after dark or after hours.
Mm.
But they'd always have those, you call in, your first package is whatever, and then you can never call them back to cancel, and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Because you have to subscribe.
Oh, you do? Really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my son actually worked in one of those call centers for a while. He hated it.
I can imagine.
Because there were so many different products that the call center represented that. It's like he'd have to change gears every other call to different spiels for the different products.
Did he ever mess up? Did he ever tell you?
Oh, I don't know. So what else did we have in the episode? Oh, I did think it was rather easy that all they had to do was get the person to contradict themselves to break the spell.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of weak.
But they had to wrap it up quickly.
Yeah. It was like a good idea that they had trouble fleshing out. I mean, it wasn't awful, but I didn't think it was one of their best.
No, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely could relate to this one.
Oh, I mean, the convention stuff, I mean, all the goofy stuff in it was hilarious. I laughed a lot during it. I loved the huge Bigfoot costume, and then at the end, it was Charlie in the Bigfoot costume. That was so fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. Well, go ahead. I said because we're probably going to wrap up pretty quick. So
I've got to ask a question for you guys. What do you honestly feel? Do you think Charlie has gotten better? Do you think Jessica's acting on this has gotten better? Or do you still feel kind of like I do that she as an actress is kind of phoning this whole character in? I am not that big of a fan of her in this, I'll be honest.
She's had some great moments. So my impression is that she's having a tough time figuring out her character.
Yeah.
Because she has had some good moments that says she's, good at what she does. I mean, she was in The Outpost and Dean reused her for this.
I absolutely loved her in The Outpost. This, she's really
but what it looked like in the first couple episodes is she had a tough time figuring out who Charlie is. Like they hadn't fleshed out why she didn't pass to be a guardian. She just knew that she, flunked out and felt bad about it. There was something else that alluded to something in her background that they never really got into. And so it's like, I think she's just having a tough time coming up with a backstory on who she is without them giving her a backstory who she is, because they haven't written it yet.
True.
That's the impression I get.
Or she's just playing something like, because I mean, if you've seen some of the things, so I really think she's very socially awkward, and I think that's what the character seems to display, in my opinion, because she wants to belong, she doesn't feel like she belongs, and I think that changes her whole attitude. That's my opinion. So
yeah, and that may be something that's tough for Jessica to relate to.
Could be. I was just hoping that by now, 7 episodes in, that she would have at least found her footing.
I thought she shined in the car episode when she had not the car, the train episode when she had that car.
When she was in the car, yeah.
Yes, she was very good on that one.
I thought she really shined there. I thought she did a great job in the episode with the Memory Stone, in the scene she was in there, but she was more focused on being a guardian there. So I think the action character she can relate to. It's like everything else about her. Maybe
that's what I'm talking about. She's socially awkward and she just doesn't feel like she fits in. And she has this stigma of herself that she did not pass. And why did the library say, or why did, why did they?
It was Stone that.
Stone, yeah. Stone said, pulled her in to watch Vikram. So we'll see. They might tell us what's going on. So I think I might have to wait.
As an actress, as Liz said, I know that she can act because Talon was great.
Yeah.
Portrayal of Talon. So I wonder if it is more of the writing hasn't found its footing, as you said, Greg, yet to flesh her
Linda
out
says kind of the same things.
And I thought her reaction in the beginning of this episode was a true one when we're discussing the whole moth opening the box, and her expression was like, really? And that was one of the truest emotions I've seen from her as a character, and that added something for me. So I'm hopeful that as we go along, they'll find more of her to grab, to sink her teeth into. Relax. I see her relaxing more. I
mean, she's had a lot of good moments, but I mean, it does. It seems like a combination of the writing and Charlie trying to figure out who or Jessica trying to figure out who Charlie is
Mm-hmm.
when Charlie isn't being Rebecca Ramja's character.
Mm-hmm.
Romaine?
Yeah.
That's the name I never could pronounce. I can do the C's and Z's
And then too, maybe I was thinking it's possible that it's layering. We're layering her because she's so doesn't have the confidence that in
yeah.
herself that she can truly be a
See,
guardian.
that's what I'm trying to say. She's socially awkward. She's not sure of herself.
Yeah.
The only times that she was sure of herself when she was driving that car.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggie. I mean, she knew what she was doing then.
Mm-hmm.
She knew she could handle it. She knew what she had to do, and she was comfortable with that. But
the ballet thing was fun too. I thought.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. But some of the other stuff, it's not her forte. At least not yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, chances are we're going to get a good backstory for.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll figure out who Charlie is.
That'll be great.
Mm-hmm. Well, any closing remarks anybody has? I'm kind of done. Does anybody have anything? And I know Greg is done.
I know. I wish I just had a hole in the floor where I could just drop from the den into my bed.
I just want to say this has really been the really fun chat, discussion, and I'm really happy to have Liz and of course you other guys.
The other people.
I'm so happy Liz is back.
I am happy I'm back too after almost dying. Believe me, I'm very glad.
We were all worried about you, kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bobby Nash gives us a like also. Miss you, Bobby. Hope you can come next week.
Yeah, I actually figured I could slack on my preparation this time because I thought Bobby was going to be here.
And you'll keep me on my toes. I'm going to try to delve into finding out a little more depth of certain things before we talk.
Well, I love mythology, so I'm curious about that crown. So let me know if you find out.
Mm-hmm. And y'all let us know in the chat if you think of something, please do, because especially any Easter eggs we missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because this would have been a good episode for them to sneak a lot into.
And honestly, they probably did.
We caught the Area 52.
Mm-hmm.
The ducks thing referenced the birds thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love the pyramids. What's the point? I thought that was just such a fun pun.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, before we go, I want to announce some of the people that are coming. Some I have dates, some I do not. Woo! But I'm going to go ahead. We've talked about her a couple of times. 13th of July, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Ivana Vasic will be with us. She's going to talk about at least up through episode 6. She might talk a little bit more, but that was her original goal, was to talk about episodes 1 to 6. On 18th of July, we have, and this is from episode 6, a guest star from episode 6, Dominic Chichak. He'll be here, and he's going to be talking also about the new movie that he just made that's going through film festivals right now. We also have another guest star from episode 6, Sam Bell, who was the tarot reading.
And former librarian. She will be with us, and I will post that date when we do get that confirmed. That will probably be a Sunday. I just don't know which Sunday it's going to be yet. Well, I've got some others too, but
you ain't saying.
I'm not saying. They're on the webpage, so if you went to the webpage, people, you would see some of them before I'm going to announce them. But, I'm making you go to the webpage. Ooh, I'm mean. I'm mean, but everybody says I'm mean, so that's fine. But
I've never said that.
Yeah.
Roger used to say that.
Yeah, well, I know, but Roger said it all the time. So, but anyway, so ndbmedia.net. So go there if you'd like to sometimes get a little insight about what's happening. They're not always confirmed, but they are close. They are close. So, Liz, since you have been gone for so long, do you want to take us out and say goodbye to all of our friends?
I guess I could. Just letting everybody know, definitely check out what Michael had just mentioned as far as what's coming up. Definitely don't want to miss that. Also, the 4th is in 2 days, so people please be aware, be safe. If you're going to drink, don't drive. What was that, Greg?
Keep all your fingers.
Yes. So go ahead and enjoy yourself. If you're going to drink, please don't drive. Call an Uber. Do whatever you need to do. And be safe. And we will see you back here next week. Same time, same bat channel.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.